Hi everyone, and welcome to this live session. We are doing something pretty special today. We are going to dive deep into a real world implementation story with Robin, who is going to walk us through how he integrated Neuron AI into his actual project. So let's jump right in. Robin, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
So, Robin, just to give you a bit of context, Robin was really one of the first contributors to Neuron AI, and discussing with him, we understood that he already has in place a very nice project that he will is going to talking about this very cool open source project. So first of all, Robin, let us know who you are. How did you become a software developers, a PHP developers? So
Yeah. So I started developing when I was in school, in high school. So that was the graduation I chose to do,
yeah,
and in particular PHP. We had a lot of projects in school, and from early on, I tended to use PHP for all my projects because it was really easy to have
yeah,
something running really quick. Also, really easy to have bad code, of course, but that's another story. But
yeah,
it was really easy for me to set things up and have a little web app running in a matter of no time. Um, Compare that to, for example, we also in school had Java or C
yeah,
Sharp.
yeah,
So that's a whole other story. So that's why I started using PHP and why I fell in love with PHP. And then after school, my first job was also a PHP developer. So my professional life has always been PHP related for the last let me think 15 years.
oh,
Um,
great.
I've also been a very big part of, I don't know if you know Drupal. Uh,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
that's
The
also,
CMS
that's Drupal.
always
Actually,
competing with WordPress in some.
yeah. But Drupal is actually Symfony, the
Yeah,
application CMS built on Symfony. And I've been a part of the open source community for a long time. And I was introduced to open source by Drupal. I worked in a Drupal agency for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And that's where I fell in love with open source as well. So using other people's codes and contributing back, uh, I really like the idea of open
yeah.
source.
Are you working now as a freelancer, or are you part of the company?
I'm
What's your?
currently I'm part of a company. I'm working on a SaaS product, so an internal product we develop.
Yeah,
And again, that's also all backend is all PHP. Uh, it's quite a big and complex application, but yeah, we manage everything backend wise. That is with
right.
PHP. So yeah, PHP has been really good for me the past 15 years.
Yeah, yeah. As I mentioned it before, you are um, you are guiding a development of a really a great open source project.
Yeah.
So feel free to let us know what is about. Why did you start this journey releasing an entire project as open source?
Yeah. So I'm an amateur cyclist. I love
Yeah,
cycling because
uh,
I'm Belgian and Belgians love cycling. Italians do as well, I guess.
yeah, for sure. I have a lot of friends that love
Yeah,
to
yeah.
cycling.
So and 2 years. almost 2 years ago, I was thinking it would be cool if I could show off my cycling workouts on my GitHub profile,
Oh, yeah.
but not in a way where I had to manually edit my GitHub README every time, of course, but automate it, right? So that's when the idea started to, I'll just pull in my activities from Strava with a GitHub action in my repository and automatically update my personal README with my
Yeah.
latest activities.
The
So that's
automation is the
yeah,
mania of us as developer. I feel.
yeah, indeed. So and there were a few friends of mine that uh, liked that I was showing off my workouts on my GitHub profile, and they wanted to be able to do that as well. So I just made a separate repository for it, wrote a lengthy README how they could use it as well, and set it up on their own profiles so they could start using it as well. And from there on, other people started to like notice the repository. I don't know how or how they came about it, but they started
Yeah.
noticing it.
It's open source, so
Yeah, but
it go around.
yeah, but I didn't share it with anyone. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people just stumbled upon it, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was also at the time when I was really getting into self-hosting. So, and I was really active on the subreddit self-hosted. It's a quite big subreddit, everything concerning self-hosted apps. And there, the go-to approach to install apps was Docker or containerized apps. And that's when I decided to release statistics for Strava in a containerized environment, so everyone could just pull the image, fill out a Strava API key of their own, and yeah, start pulling in their
Yes.
activities and have their stats. So that's how statistics for Strava came about.
Yeah, beautiful story. It's about the way other people can track their activity
Indeed.
using the Strava APIs, basically
Indeed.
your application.
Strava itself has a lot of useful statistics as well. But on one hand, it's kind of focused on the community aspect as well, leaving comments and liking each other's activities and such. What I missed from Strava was like more fun stats. So like I wanted to see for example, for every bike I used, how much time did I ride every bike per month, for
Okay.
example.
Yeah.
That wasn't possible. Maybe it's possible now on Strava, I don't know, but at the time that, for example, that statistic wasn't available. So that's why I decided to then add new features to the statistics for Strava. A lot of people also created new GitHub issues asking for new features, new statistics that I never even heard about. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And currently we're at the point where we have a little Discord server going on with 200 people trying to contribute to
Beautiful.
Strava.
Around that, basically going through the open source part, they are basically all developers, all PHP developers that you have to manage to install this application, etc.
Well, they are not all PHP developers, but they are almost all technical people because they know how to install Docker and how to configure a container, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, they have a
they're all-
server in
yeah,
the in-house, basically. Yeah.
they, I think they are all pretty self-host minded, if
Yeah.
you ask me. So they are, most of them are technical people indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we currently are. And yeah, things are going well, and it's cool to maintain this application.
Yeah, great journey. I also saw in the repository that you have a bunch of stars. The repository was very very live, if I can say.
Apart from the interaction with the people, so the stars and the feature requests and whatever, all the messages on Discord, the repository itself is very active. I almost on a daily basis commit and add new features or bug fixes or whatever I need to be doing, or refactoring code, because
Yeah,
I'm never satisfied.
yeah,
Code that I've written 5 months ago in statistic for Strava is, in my opinion, right now not good enough, and I want to optimize it, right? So
yeah,
I'm also refactoring a lot, so it's a never-ending story.
yeah, yeah. I understand. I really understand. So, and what drew at this point? Uh, what drew you to working with AI agents specifically? What came up that
Yeah. So
you?
initially, I so a lot currently almost all apps have some kind of AI feature, right?
Mm,
Where if they are useful, we're not going to discuss about that, but almost every app has an AI feature. And I wanted to, I first thought about the fact, can an AI feature in statistic for Strava be useful? If so, which feature? Uh, and how will I implement this feature? So I started thinking, and Strava Premium. So Strava has a subscription model, right?
okay. Yeah.
And the premium version, I don't have the premium version, but the premium version has some kind of AI capabilities, but it's fairly limited. It's just it tells you for an activity, for example, how intensive it was or stuff
Mm,
like that. It's limited. Um, so that's how I came up with the idea. It would be cool if people could like chat with some kind of AI thing and ask about their activities, what things they could do better, and have like an interaction with a virtual workout assistant, basically. So that was the first idea, and currently the only idea. Well, not the only idea. I have new ideas, but this is the first implemented idea. Um, the thing was that even though I'm fairly proficient in PHP, I'm not an AI expert at all. Uh, I of course know ChatGTP or how to use APIs that some kind of AI provider provides, right?
yeah.
But I am in no means an AI expert. So that's why I started looking on GitHub, searching on GitHub for packages or libraries that could help me so that I wouldn't have to do all the heavy lifting myself, right? Because why invent the wheel all over again?
Clear.
And I, at first, I didn't find a lot. There was one library, you probably heard about it, Elephant. No, wait,
Yeah.
you know,
L found.
yeah,
Yeah.
which was kind of promising, but it was very restrictive in the way how you could use it as a developer. It was not really uh, component based, or I as a developer could not really like plug into it and add my own functionality.
Yeah.
Maybe that has changed by now. I don't know. So I was kind of hesitant, but then on the subreddit of PHP, I saw one of your messages. I
Oh,
think
okay.
it was one of the very first messages you posted on. I think it was like 6 months ago that I saw your first message on the subreddit, on the PHP subreddit. And then I immediately contacted you in a personal message asking you.
Okay, now I
That was me.
remember. Yeah,
That
it
was me.
was, yeah,
That was
right.
me.
The
That
direct
was me.
surprise
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
live in
That
the
was
live
me. And I
view.
asked you.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I asked you like.
I even didn't remember about this. It was 3 months ago because it was just very at the beginning. I
Yeah,
released Less than Neuron. The first release of Neuron was about 4 months ago. If I can say so. It was
that was
very,
so that
very
he
early.
contacted you asking, look, I have this app, I want to do this, can your library help me with it? And then you simply explained to me that it could. That's how I started using Neuron, and it's Neuron AI, and it's been a it's been very, very, very helpful to me, the library, because I don't have to think about all the complicated stuff, right? You guys do that for me.
For sure. For that time to today, also Neuron itself changed a lot. We are improved the overall framework so much. So now it's very. It could be helpful for a lot of use case. I'm happy to hear that it's also the case for you. So just give me a follow-up question. So what were the main technical challenges you faced during your implementation? Because I can imagine that your application, since an analytics application in some way, you have a lot of data. And so the challenge to fit this AI agent implementation with managing all of these data, what goes
on? I prepared a little visual, so I'm going to share it if that's okay.
Beautiful.
I think we're sharing. Okay. So indeed, so there's a lot of data. So first of all, there's no cloud version of statistic for Strava. It's the database is on local computer with the user. It's a self-hosted application.
On the server they install, basically.
For example, I'm running my own statistics for Strava on my MacBook, and data is on my MacBook in a simple SQLite database. So what we do is we pull in data from several data sources, mainly the Strava API, which contains all the activities, all the detailed stats about your activities, and there are a lot. Then we also have a connection with an open source weather API to pull in weather data for specific activities, so we can show weather data on the activity detail page. And we also do the same for activities to reverse geocode. So Strava has a lot of coordinates, but users cannot read coordinates, right? So we reverse geocode them to places, and for that we use the OpenStreetMap API, and all those things are stored in the local database, right? So I wanted to have a kind of feature where a user could chat with an AI agent and enrich the AI agent with the data from the database. And that's where initially I thought, because I already told I'm not an AI expert, I thought I had to build a RAG system. But can you explain me? If you have structured data, it's better to use tools and not RAG. So that's what I decided to do.
Just to give some insight to people that listen to this video, the discussion we had with Robin was that Robin needed to access structured information in the sense of information that comes from a database. So this kind of scenario doesn't fit very well with the RAG system. The RAG system typically works on long contents, long text, documents, this kind of very static data that they can be treated and stored into vector database in other kind of systems. So database records that are updated constantly with new data, basically daily, weekly, doesn't fit with this kind of scenario. RAG are for completely different architecture. So working with tools, making the agent able to pull this data from the database when it needs, it's the right, basically the right pattern to follow when you have to talk with this kind of data source.
Yeah, indeed. That was an eye opener. So very short. I can. So basically, I'm using Symfony as a framework. The backend is PHP Symfony. So if you want, I can go over the codes.
Yeah, for sure. It's also very interesting to understand how effectively you integrated Neuron into a Symfony environment. So feel free also to open.
Yeah. I'm actually quite happy with it. There might be things that can be done better, I'm sure, but I'm quite happy with the integration I did. So I'll show you in a bit. So this is basically then, the only thing we as Statistics for Strava did was we implemented Neuron AI tools, right? Which use data from the database, feed it to the agents, and then Neuron does all the rest for us. So we just send a request to the Neuron AI framework, and then Neuron AI does whatever it needs to do. Because so users can configure for themselves if they set up the app. One, if they want to enable the AI feature, yes or no. I disable it on my own application because I'm hosting it on the internet as a demo, and I don't want other people to use my credit card on ChatGPT, right?
For sure.
So users can decide for themselves in the configuration file what kind of provider they want to use. Do they want to use OpenAI or Mistral? We also support Olama. So because Statistics for Strava is a self-hosted app, we needed to have support for a self-hosted Olama instance.
For sure. It fits perfectly with your audience, basically.
Yeah, indeed. I had a few issues with that, but that was because of my own stupid mistakes. But yesterday I got everything working even with streaming responses after updating Olama to the latest version. So now we're good to go, and all these AI providers are supported and working. So it's cool. It's still in the early stages, the AI chat agents, but yeah, we're going to keep working on it. Currently, we only have a CLI implementation, so it's a CLI chat, but I'm planning on adding UI really soon. So I
think it could be the final goal to let the people talk with this kind of agent into the Statistics for Strava from the UI eventually.
The only thing I still need to figure out, well, not the only thing, but one of the things I still need to figure out is because there is a lot of data, and most of the time people will use this feature not to ask about one activity, but to ask, so give me a summary of last week's workouts, for example. That's a lot of data. So, and currently, if you ask such a question, the agents, it takes 5 to 10 seconds for the agents to answer. So I think because of the amount of data we send to, for example, OpenAI or Olama, it takes a while to get an answer back. So I still need to figure out how to improve this, if it's even possible. I don't know. But yeah, those are things I still need to look into. But we have a working version for now.
Yeah, great. So if you will, if you want to let us know how the neuron implementation fit into your application architecture in terms of really in terms of code, how did you place the agent in your architecture, how you are running this agent via console command, what were your decisions behind these kind of patterns?
So I'll pull up PHP Storm. Okay, you
Yeah,
can see PHP
our
Storm.
preferred ID, I think. That's a lot of us.
Yeah, indeed. I guess so. Um, so I'm a big fan of, I hope a lot of people are a big fan of dependency injection, right?
Yeah, if you use Symfony,
Yeah,
you have to.
indeed. Symfony is all about dependency injection and the service container. It's really, really powerful. And I used the Symfony container quite a bit to implement Neuron AI into my Symfony app. So basically, it's actually quite simple. So at the center of it all, there's a Neuron AI agent. That's my own class and extends the Neuron AI base class, basically. What it does, I'll go into detail. What it does is it returns a simple provider based on the configuration of the user. So the configuration is done in a YAML file. I'll show it in a bit. And this class reads the YAML file and returns in the API provider, which can be Llama or OpenAI or whatever. I'll talk about the tools later. And then simply the instructions are, I copy pasted those from the docs and just edited those.
Yeah.
And then I also implemented a custom chat history. Custom chat history.
So the constructor parameters of the agent are basically how to wire it. From the Symfony container.
So
this is
what
interesting.
I set out to do is what I didn't want to do was every time I added a new, so I can imagine that Neuron AI, for example, will keep adding new AI providers to the library as they keep popping up, right? So I read in the releases just earlier that since a few days there's full Mistral support. So so I didn't want to, for one, I didn't want to have to change up all my own codes if a new AI provider popped up. And also, I didn't want to change a bunch of codes every time I introduced a new tool. So I thought about this and I've set up a sort of little framework or container, as you will, to auto-collect all the tools and inject them into my Neuron AI agents. So actually what I did is fairly straightforward. So if you are familiar with Symfony, you'll know that, look, I'm also using Inspector.
Great.
So if you're familiar with Symfony, you know there's a feature in the services YAML in the container where you can tag everything that has a certain interface. What I did was I told Symfony, hey, Symfony, everything that is of instance tool interface, tag it with this tag. This is arbitrary. This is what I chose, but you can do whatever, right? You can also use attributes for this to tag, auto tag classes, but because this class is not part of my own code, that was not possible. So I had to do it like so. Now at this point, Symfony will internally tag every class that implements tool interface with this tag. And then I just, let me check here. In my toolkit, I added a toolkit class, which basically says,
that collect all the tools into a toolkit
just says to
class.
Symfony, hey, collect all the tools which are tagged with.
Very clever.
And then at this point, toolkit is auto-wireable, auto-discoverable by Symfony, and I can just inject it in my Neuron AI agent and return it in the tools function. So
just attach a single toolkit with all the tools inside, and everything is done.
So this means every time, look, I have these tools right here. These are my tools.
Oh, wow. There are a lot of tools.
Yeah.
Great.
Every time I add a new tool, or I remove a tool, or rename a tool, it doesn't matter. I don't have to touch my agent anymore because everything is auto-collected. And every tool is just, I'm going to show the most simple one, I guess. It just extends the base tool of the Neuron AI framework and does what it needs to do in the invoke method, actually. So that's basically it. And then we also, I don't know if you have any more questions about the tool.
No, great. Absolutely very clever implementation, because as you say, you can change things, add things. You don't need to touch the code anymore.
No. And then for the AI provider, it's actually fairly simple. I inject a factory, and based on this is the configuration of the user, I have just a big match statement with.
Here is where you read the configuration file, so the user can.
Yes, indeed. And based on the provider, the user configured, I return a new AI provider object. That's basically it. So very, very simple. And then last but not least, the chat history. So Neuron AI provides already a file history functionality, but it uses internally the core PHP file functions, which makes sense, of course. But because that is not, it's not easy to test those kind of classes, because you cannot mock anything. It's hard to do, and because I already use the library Fly system. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, for sure. Beautiful library. I think one of the most well done package of the entire PHP ecosystem.
Indeed. So I'm heavily relying on Fly system already throughout the app. So that's why I decided to here Fly chat.
Great.
Chat history. It's actually just almost a copy paste of your Neuron AI file history, but with the
write and read operation from the Fly system interface.
So it's very straightforward, and I can easily, so because I'm using the Fly system in my test suite, I can switch the actual file system out with a in-memory file system, right? And you can do whatever testing you want, which is the main reason I did. And then I think last but not least, for every tool, what I'm doing is, for example, get activity, obviously retrieves an activity and feeds it to the AI agent. Every entity or aggregate, like I call them, I added a supports AI tooling interface to the code base, which has one simple function, export for AI tooling. And every entity that needs to be able to interact with the AI agent implements this. And for example, a activity it's a big class. Wait. So
Yeah,
imports supports AI tooling and then implements this.
yeah. To return serializable data that can be converted. Yeah, because the result of tools, as Robin obviously already know, the result of tools, the function, the callable function of tools can return data in various formats,
Yes.
but they need to be always serializable in a string, because this is what at the end of the day the LLM understand. So Neuron takes care if you return an array, a string, or an integer, but if you return a non-serializable object, it will fire an exception, basically,
Yeah.
because it's something
So
string.
I first started off with returning a structured string, but then I decided to read a little bit about AI and tooling, and as far as I understood, was that it's better to have a key value array to return that the LLM understands it better. Is that correct or no?
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. They have a strong learning on JSON
yeah,
structure.
yeah,
So when you return an array, basically Neuron convert the array into a JSON structure and pass to the LLM, so they are really efficient
yeah.
understanding these kind of structures.
Yeah, that's what I understood from what I read as well. Because at my first attempt, export for AI tooling returned a string with some which had all this info in a long string.
Oh, okay, okay,
And
okay.
then I realized that this is not the best way for the LLM to understand it, and I changed it to a key value.
Yeah, it depends. It depends where this kind of information are feeded to the LLM. Because, for example, in the system instruction, sometimes it's better to use paragraph text, simple text, not too structured information. But it's something that comes with experience also. Trying and testing and evaluating the final results.
Yeah. So, and like I'm thinking about, so currently, I told my agent, look, you're a workout expert, right? With some instructions. But I was thinking, so would it be smart or a good move to have like um, um, I actually I really want the agent to be a workout expert, right?
Yeah.
So would it be a good idea to have for me, manually look up articles on the internet which have very valuable information about workouts and recovery and such, and then implement RAG to put it?
Yeah, for sure. I tend to think about this kind of mixed use cases, in the sense that you have to give the agent very specific and targeted information from your use case. So, for example, if you want to feed the agent with articles about workout, etc., they have to be specific for cyclers.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is to because otherwise the agent can
Yeah.
tend to give some generic information. They
Yeah.
goes all around.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are not specific. So if you
Okay.
want to help your agent to be very specific for your user's use case, and this is at the end of the day, it should help people that use your application. You have to provide specific information, and then you have two ways to implement this kind of scenario. You can implement a RAG, because the RAG class that it's really built into the Neuron framework, it's basically an extension of the agent
Yeah.
that provide on top of the basic agent class other all the other dynamics, that data retrieval, the
Mhm.
embeddings,
Mhm.
dynamics to embed documents, store into the vector store. So it's built on top of the normal agent implementation. And this brings something interesting because you can attach tools to the RAG
Mhm.
and create this kind of double phase.
A hybrid solution,
Yeah,
actually.
this hybrid solution. Another way instead is to stay with the agent class and attach this kind of RAG features in some ways via tools.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let the agent, let the model decide when it needs to retrieve some
Mhm.
information about workouts, etc. So
Yeah,
this,
that's actually maybe a better idea.
but this second option, you have to build some component on your own because
Yes,
you have to integrate inside Neuron. You already have all the components. Basically, you have
yes.
vector store, you have also post processor, everything you need. You just have to provide this kind of feature to the agent, writing a tools that
Mhm.
wrap this kind of uh,
Mhm.
features,
Yeah.
the access to the vector store via tools, basically.
Mhm.
So this is
Mhm.
the extra work.
I th I think I might need to test both approaches.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the accuracy, it can be understood only trying this kind of
Mhm.
implementation and gain some confidence in what
Yeah,
is working
it's
best.
trial and error, right? But it also depends on already noticed. So, for example, if I'm using OpenAI as an agent, it provides me with way better feedback than, for example, my self-hosted Olama instance, because that's only a small model, which is
Yeah,
kind of dumb, quote
clear.
unquote.
Yeah, yeah, for
So there's a big difference in the models you're using.
yeah, have a big impact on the final result of the feedback that the agent provide. You can obviously you can help the agent implementation to work a lot better, investing into prompt engineering.
Hmm.
So not only into the, I don't know, system instruction that we are seeing just around in the screen, but also in the tool description,
Oh.
in the variable that you have to, maybe you can ask the help of, I don't know, an LLM in ChatGPT. You can describe what your tool is about
Mhm.
and ask for a very complete description to
Oh.
help another LLM
Yeah.
to understand that they are
Yeah,
very
yeah,
well
yeah.
in this kind of time. You can put
That's
this
actually a great
description.
idea.
It will increase a lot the accuracy of
Oh, okay.
the ability of the agent to not for very big models like ChatGPT or Claude. They already work very well,
Hmm.
but it will help also smaller model, less capable model to act very accurate
Oh,
in
okay.
this kind of scenario.
That's a very
Oh,
good suggestion indeed.
yeah.
Because currently my tools are actually the description of my tools and are just very, very basic. So
Yeah.
I,
This is typical where for
yeah,
developers starting their journey. They just, this tool is to get this information.
yeah,
Okay.
and be
Bec-
done with it. And yeah,
yeah. But when you start to use, as in your case, 10 tools, 15 tools, the agent, if you start using also other models, not the frontier models like
yeah.
OpenAI or Judge,
Hmm.
but even Mistral. Mistral is less capable than OpenAI or Claude, and you start to see this kind of difference in the way they act. So
Mm.
I tested the inside Neuron. There is already built-in MySQL toolkit
Yeah, yeah.
that,
I
yeah, that
indeed saw. Yeah.
allows the agent basically to talk with your database. You put this toolkit attach this toolkit to the agent, and you can ask information on your for your database. And Mistral, when I tested this toolkit with Mistral, the query are not always correct in terms of the name of the fields, etc. They misinterpret sometimes some details. So a very good explanation, description of tools, variables, properties, etc. help a lot to
I guess the toolkits that are provided by Neuron AI have good descriptions or not?
Yeah, they are very incredible long description.
Oh, I'll look at them as an example then.
Yeah, for sure. You can take a lot of inspiration. So,
okay, thanks for the suggestion. That's a really good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Robin, thank you so much. It was beautiful discussion. You made a very, very great work. It's a very beautiful example of how Neuron can be part of a real product. And so we'll see what coming next, basically.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm really excited. I will keep following Neuron AI very closely, and I'll probably be bothering you with more GitHub issues.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's always a collaborative effort.
Thank you for all your work and time on Neuron AI. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will always release all the links to your project, maybe your LinkedIn profile into the video description, so people can stay in contact with us.
Perfect. Can you I'm subscribed to the Neuron AI newsletter. Will I see it over because I want to see the video, of course. Will I see the AI newsletter or not?
Yeah, for sure. We usually release all the most important contents, and I think this is one of them, also in the newsletter. So
yeah, okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for your time, Rob.
Yeah, thank you as well. Okay, bye. Good afternoon. Bye.